Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. My name is Audrey Zuck. I'm the president of the Hungarian American Coalition and your MC for this evening's festivities. Welcome to the historic Meridian House for the 20th Annual Coalition Gala. And speaking of history, before I go a moment further, I'd like to acknowledge that today Hungary added a new Nobel Prize winner. So I'd like to acknowledge author László Krasznahorkai, who I have to say, my mother asked me at one point to try to read, and he was not the easiest Hungarian author to read. So now I have to go back and try harder because I unfortunately gave up. So I promise to do better next time, but this brings us to a grand total of 27 and several in the past 2 years, and so we're immensely proud, so very exciting. We gather tonight to celebrate, to look back at the past year and to celebrate pillars of our community for their significant contribution to the Hungarian American community as a whole and directly to our coalition with the 3 T's: time, talent, and treasure. I'd like to welcome our honorees, Dr. Julius Várallyay, who has been a valued leader of the coalition since the very beginning, 34 years ago. Sadly, late last night, we got word that Jussi Bácsi is not able to join us this evening, so please join me in sending our prayers to him for a quick recovery. But do not fear, we will still celebrate him tonight among dear friends, and we will find another opportunity later this year to fully fet him and present his award in person. So we will go forward because that's what Jussi Bácsi would want. I'd also like to welcome Audrey Zuck, who traveled all the way from London to be here this evening to accept the award on behalf of her father, András Ábrahám, who is a spry 97 years old. Welcome, Audrey. Yes. That definitely earns some applause. And finally, I'd like to welcome our entourage from Minnesota, President Gabriella Sinka Heath, Csilla Grauzernek, who is also VP of the coalition and an honorary consul, and board members Michael Kowalska and Mike LaFleur, who has the best beard in the room. Stand up and show your beard off there, Mike. I mean, it's impressive, right? It's kind of the Janos Chalk mustache of beards, I would say. It's really quite impressive. There, okay, there you go. I'd like to welcome this evening's gala co-chairs, Governor George E. Pataki, America's governor, and a proud Hungarian American and a former coalition honoree. Sadly, his seat is there next to Ambassador Takács. He is on a train making his way to us from Pennsylvania that encountered some kind of a shutdown of sorts, and so we're hoping he will make it by the end of the evening. But this seems to be the theme of this evening, so we're just going to forge ahead and thank Governor Pataki for his support. The Honorable Mrs. Anikó Gaál Schott and Nash Schott, longtime supporters and dear friends to all of us and to the coalition. Thank you for your support. And I'd also like to give a salute in absentia to Mrs. Edith Kish-Lauer, founder and chair emerita of the coalition, mother of the MC, and our fearless leader for many years. She is so very disappointed to not be in attendance this evening. So, are you sensing a theme here? I think next year we will be sending out packets of Purell and vitamin C so that we can keep the coalition support network healthy and able to attend our events. A very special welcome to Ambassador Szabolcs Takács, Ambassador of Hungary to the United States, and his wife Emma Segal. The Honorable April H. Foley, former U.S. Ambassador to Hungary from 2006 to 2009, Chair of the Hungary Foundation, and also a former coalition honoree. We're delighted to have you. The Honorable Ed Royce, former Chair, House Foreign Affairs Committee. I think he's here. Wonderful to see you. The Honorable Marie Royce, former Assistant Secretary of State for Educational and Cultural Affairs at the State Department. Great to see you. The Honorable James Rosebush, former Deputy Assistant to President Ronald Reagan and Chief of Staff to First Lady Nancy Reagan. Amazing. I bet you have some stories to tell. William P. Beach, Acting Deputy Assistant Secretary for Europe and Eurasia, the Treasury Department. I haven't seen him. Where is he? Wessam Hassanein, Special Advisor to Vice President J.D. Vance. Is Wessam here? Lutza, did Wessam make it? He's in the office. Well, the Middle East peace deal, I mean, I guess we can give him a pass on that, yeah. Okay. Matthew Boyce, former Deputy Assistant Secretary, State Department. Great to see you. Colonel Andrew Hutchison, U.S. Navy Executive Officer. And his lovely wife, Susan, who we have dubbed an honorary Hungarian for her years of support and friendship, also former director of the Charles Simonyi Fund for the Arts. The lovely Alexander Daborshkrov, thank you so much for being here and being among the Hungarian cause again. I think we're going to have to adopt you now since this is your second gala. J.C. Linsenich, did I get it that time? Okay, National Security Advisor, U.S. Senator Tom Tillis. Great to see you again. I'd like to welcome Renata and William S. Kilroy and David Dahl, trustees of the Kilroy Foundation from Houston, Texas, right? Okay, fantastic. We are delighted. They are new to the coalition family. Let's give them a big welcome. We are absolutely thrilled to be partnering with the Kilroy Foundation on renovating an elementary school in Formos, Hungary, which you'll see a little bit about in the video. We were just able to start phase 1 with more plans in the works, and we're just thrilled that you're here and excited for the future. So thank you for coming. Thomas Kristinich, former president of the Hungarian Medical Association of America and board member of the Hungarian American Piarist Organization, who just told me he was here 15 years ago or so at a gala. So welcome back. It's been a while, but we're welcome back. Anna Smith-Lacey, executive director of the Hungary Foundation and a former intern of the coalition. And lastly, well, we have to clap for Anna. Anna's here representing the next generation of the Hungarian American community. That's good stuff. And lastly, I'd like to ask all coalition board members to stand. If I could ask everyone. Okay, thank you so much. Welcome, every one of you. Dr. Agnes Virga, Boston, Massachusetts. Melissa Kotko-Pepin, president of the American-Hungarian Foundation in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Zsolt Szekeres, president of the Hungarian Human Rights Foundation and a founder of the coalition. Les Megyeri, where are you, Les? Oh, all right. Well, it's okay. You can sit down. Les Megyeri of the Hungarian Reform Federation of America. And I'm sure I've missed people who I have not welcomed, and I'm sorry if that's the case. Welcome, one and all. Lastly, I wanted to invite the members of HYPE, coalition interns, and our program alumni to stand. Look at all those good-looking young folks. So this group, you don't have to keep standing, but the group that was just standing is the future of our community. 2 years ago, we created HYPE, the Hungarian Young Professional Network. The Hungarian Young Professional Engagement Network. It's a mouthful, so we refer to it as HYPE, and the participants as hypers. This is a nationwide initiative to engage the next generation between the age of 18 and 40 who really have not been all that engaged in the community, and really to find future community leaders. This program is run by Luca Moroz, an LTP alum, who currently works as our senior fellow in DC as she gets her master's at American University, and Reka Veres-Lennox, also an LTP alum, who is running our endowment campaign. Reka, we'll give you some. All right. So the important thing is this is a program for young people, by young people. Sometimes they let me come, not always. But this 6-month program consists of in-person and online leadership discussions with various industry leaders and mentors. Dextra Ingram, I see you over there. Emesha Prondovsky have both been mentors in our programs. Peter Gajari, I think we're going to be getting you to present. Zsuzsi Fekete, I mean, there's lots of people in this room who are just incredible, and we'd love to plug you in. So if you're interested, please let us know. And if you are interested in nominating somebody, also please let us know. Last night we had a hype event at the Kossuth House where Wessam Hasahainen shared some great career advice and a little bit of inside scoop about working with the vice president. Upon completion of the program, each hyper receives a diploma at our annual Mikulás dinner at the Hungarian Embassy. I just had a great meeting with Ambassador Takács. Put December 5th in your calendar for this year's Mikulás. And they're welcomed into our growing hype network, and that's really where the magic happens. This program is, the goal of this program is really to engage in the new generation of passionate Hungarian Americans who will carry on this important work for the future. So thanks to all of our hypers in attendance tonight. Hajrá, keep up the great work. We're very proud of you and the program. So quickly, the Coalition hosts this gala every year to help fund our scholarship and internship programs, and I'm delighted to tell you all that this year we have more applicants than ever before, which is really saying something. The Dr. Elimera Neva Kish Scholarship provides a partial scholarship to Hungarians attending college in the United States. The Béla Bognár Scholarship Fund provides partial funding to students studying in Hungary, so we have it on both sides. To date, between the two programs, we have more than 550 program alumni scattered across the globe, so it's really having an impact. The John N. Lauer Leadership Training Program, the LTP for short, is a 4-month customized internship program for talented young Hungarians to intern at think tanks and organizations in Washington, D.C., including, in the past, the Meridian House, which is very exciting. Our alumni often go on to careers in civil service or find other ways to have a significant impact in their home countries. Let me introduce you to our two current interns, LTP interns Auguston Csekenol and Krzysztof Horpácsi. Can you guys stand up just for a sec? Oh, there they are. All right. Together they make 105 LTP interns over the past 15 years. So these programs are helping make a difference to the next generation and strengthening the bridges between our countries. And through your support this evening, these programs will go on. So thank you very much. 3 years ago, we began presenting youth awards to recognize our most impactful LTP alumni and to identify future community leaders from among our members and their local communities. Candidates are nominated by their peers and from within HAC's membership. This evening, I am delighted to present our first award, the LTP Alumni Award, to Anna Smith-Lacey. Surprise! You can read her more detailed and very impressive bio in the program. I will simply say that Anna was an LTP intern in 2006 at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, and since that moment, she has impressed everyone she has come into contact with, and she has embraced a number of diplomatic and leadership assignments in and around the Hungarian American community with professionalism, creativity, and gusto. She is smart, strategic, and savvy, and her work as executive director of the Hungary Foundation has greatly strengthened the bridges between our two countries. So on behalf of our entire community and my family, because my mother was going to present this to you, so I just wanted to let you know that. Congratulations, Anna, as a proud Hungarian and a passionate, newly minted American citizen. You make us all very proud. If I can invite you to come up. little nervous. Okay. Now I'd like to invite up to the podium Adam Béres, last year's winner of the Future Community Award, to present the 2025 award.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Réka Veres-Lennox, a passionate and dedicated member of our Hungarian-American community and this year's recipient. Réka was born and raised in Kolozsvár, Transylvania, and moved to Washington, D.C. in 2021. She has been a dedicated volunteer for the Hungarian-American Coalition for several years, helping to manage and advance the Coalition's endowment campaign and providing support at numerous events, including the annual gala, Mikulás dinner, and board meetings. As a co-founder of the HYPE network, Réka has played a key role in creating a dynamic platform that empowers young Hungarian professionals in the United States through mentorship, networking, and leadership development. She has supported fundraising campaigns at Marymount University in the United States and Bocskai University in Transylvania. Réka continues to use all of these experiences in her ongoing work with the Coalition, and now her service will be soaring to new heights as she is in the process of joining the United States Air Force. Please join me in warmly welcoming Réka. And if I could invite up Andrea Laura Rice, Zsolt Szekeres, and Luca Morac as well.
It was so hard to keep that a surprise. Oh, my Lord. I'd like to give a little shout out to Isaac, who, her husband, who helped smooth over my faux pas when I almost gave it all away. Sorry. Congratulations, Réka and Anna. Now I invite you all to sit back for a few moments and enjoy a quick retrospective of our past year. I know I stand between you and dinner, so let me finish with a few very quick highlights about the Community Super Gala that you just heard about. First of all, in addition to December 5th of this year, please put Monday, April 27th in your calendar. We will be celebrating America's semi-quincentennial anniversary at the historic Library of Congress next year. Our gala co-chairs are Governor George Pataki, who unfortunately is still stuck on the train, and Dr. Katrina Lantos-Sweat. I am thrilled for the coalition to be leading this charge for this historic celebration as we mark the 250th birthday of the United States of America. We are partnering with the Tulipan Foundation and the American Hungarian Foundation. Tulipan Foundation is 2 years old, and the American Hungarian Foundation is 70 years old, so we have both parts of the spectrum there. So together we're going to highlight Hungarians who have made a significant impact on the U.S., and there is quite a list, quickly, just for our lovely guests, from Augustin Haraszti, who created the very first vineyard in Napa Valley. Thank you, Augustin. Can we just all have a moment? To all the many stars in Hollywood, to Adrian Vittadini, Judith Lieber, Estee Lauder in the fashion makeup world, to Andy Grove, Les Valdas, and Charles Shimoni, who revolutionized the computer industry, to Stephen Udvar-Hazy, who created the Udvar-Hazy Center at the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum just down the road, to Tomasz Péterfi, who invented e-trading and revolutionized the industry, to our very favorite governor of New York, George Pataki, who shepherded New York through the very difficult days of 9/11, and so many more. There is much to celebrate and to be proud of as Hungarian Americans. So stay tuned, indeed, and please plan to join us. And now I will take my seat so we can enjoy dinner. Thank you again for your support and for coming this evening. Jó étvágyat kívánok.
Welcome to the Hungarian American Coalition's 20th annual gala dinner tonight. And in honor of the 80th anniversary of Béla Bartók passing, we are pleased to present a chamber music selection by this legendary Hungarian composer. Thanks to the generous contribution of the Hungarian Liszt Institute in New York, tonight's performers are Andrea Ábel, Noémi Sallai. Dávid Ádám Nagy will bring Bartók's unique musical legacy to life as we celebrate his remarkable influence.
am Várallyay Julius from Nyíregyháza, where I graduated from high school, and following that I went to the Technical University in 1955 September. So when the revolution came, I was a second-year student. Primary role, other than being enthusiastic and being very, very much involved emotionally, was on the transport side. That I actually helped this committee to create means of transport, and because of that, the usefulness and the importance of this committee was enhanced because they could do much more and more effectively. I said yes, and then I went to Harvard College, and luckily at the end of June I still found a senior tutor at Kirkland House, where I was staying. The direct relationships with the emerging young Hungarian, and when I say young, I also mean 40 and 50 in age after 1990, to relate directly to these people in Hungary and bringing them here in as many numbers as possible, so that they get to see how democracies operate. We had elections. So the first president was elected László Papp. Papplaci was the first president, and then vice president, all kinds of other people, and they elected an executive committee, so I became a member of the executive committee.
So this was technically MEFES?
That was MEFES, yes. At that time it was not called MEFES yet, but it was technically MEFES. I came up here, I got associated with a couple of formal groups, the Committee for Danubian Research, which was initiated by Tarasovic Sándor, and there I was I was vice president or something. And then I took part in these coordinating committee discussions that was initiated, I think, by István Gereben. Tóth Csanád brought me into that one. And then I became a member of the Magyar Club here in Washington, also a member of the coalition. And then I began to write about the student movement, not the student movement in Hungary, but the 1956 student movement in the West. So I basically wrote the history of this worldwide MEFES, which was my first book that came out in '92. The second one was Hungarian without adjectives, Jelző nélküli magyar, which was a compendium of journal entries, as the title of my book, that I am Hungarian. It is meaningful to me. I think it is important because I believe in the importance of oral history. And I think that participants, witnesses of 1956, if they have their head together and are able to make some reasonable comments about what happened, how it was, what was the aftermath, I think that is very helpful, or may be helpful one day to whoever the audience may be of this video material that you are preparing.
So as I've mentioned, unfortunately, Jussi Bácsi can't be with us this evening, but representing him, we have the wonderful Anikó Gaál Schott and Nash Schott who are coming to accept this award on his behalf. So I'd like to present the award to Anikó and Nash, and we will later present the award to Várallyay Jussi Bácsi.
Oh, how he wished he were here tonight. Thank you so much, dear Andrea. Thank you, everyone. If I may address.
Oh, sorry. Let me take
Thank
that
you
back
so
from you.
much.
It's heavy.
Thank you very, very much. I'm going to go first because I don't dare go after the prosecutor.
Let me assist.
So I stand here humbly before you this evening, never thinking that I would be accepting this award on behalf of our extraordinary dear friend, Jussi, our dear Julius. To me, Julia is a giant of a man, a difference maker in his time, who makes all of us better. I met Jussi in 1985 at the residence of Zsuzsa and József Takács, who then was the head of the Voice of America's Hungarian section. The topic of discussion then, as always, was the stifling years of communism in Hungary. Then in 1990, through the Czwak, Tar, Szeszensky, Simonyi, Somogyi, Szapári, Szeberkényi, Szabó years, and now, of course, through Ambassador Takács, I might add, we became very, very close friends. His energy is infectious. His love of music, literature, languages, and politics, inspiring. His dedication and love for his children, always uplifting. Needless to say, his love of life was forever enthusiastic, forever enthusiastic. I particularly remember a very funny incident at a round table of Ambassador Jesensky through the years, because during annual visits of our brilliant John Lukács, our very well-known author, when Gyula would ask him the most provocative but always fascinating questions, in the end, he would often say, "What is life about?" He says, "Excel, connect, transform." And Jussi, you certainly are the personification of all those traits. I hope you feel better, and we'll see you sometime very soon out of the hospital, right? He certainly deserves this very richly bestowed award. Thank you, Andrea, and the coalition.
Good evening, Andrea, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, friends of Hungary. We just found out this afternoon at about 4 o'clock that he wasn't going to be here tonight. And I feel so bad about that because he was so looking forward to coming here. Talked about it. When we were in Budapest recently, we were having drinks, Anikó and I, with former ambassadors Jesensky and Szapáry, and we started talking about Julius. And I said, let's call him up. And so they were good friends of his, obviously, and we all called him up. And when I got the phone, I said, you know, you got your big event coming up. Hope you're getting ready. He started laughing. You know what I did? He said, Nash. I said, no. He said, I just had my tuxedo fitted. He was so happy. He says, I'm getting ready now. I said, well, and I've talked to him since, and he was so excited about coming. And when you go home tonight, if you ever take a chance to look at your program, you know, you see all the accomplishments of people in these programs, you know, encapsulations of their life. I've sat and talked to him on a number of occasions in our home, Anikó and I, and I just love listening to him talk. His life is a life really well spent, dedicated to his country, and he's not just a citizen of Hungary, he's a citizen of the world. Can you imagine, 19 years old, you saw the pictures up there of the tanks rolling in and the student movement and running around. You used to tell me running around, you know, people being shot. I mean, he had to escape, leave his family like that, with just a handbag, basically. And then he was living in Western Europe, and when he finally got here, he didn't know anybody. He just had his student connections. And he radiates a sense of, he's a leader, and people recognize that. They recognize he's extremely bright. And somebody talked to him, and he got an interview at Harvard, and he got in, he graduated, and a full scholarship. And then after he went back to Switzerland, became the head of all the student organizations in Western Europe. And after that, he went back and he got a full scholarship to MIT. Can you imagine this? I mean, think about this. This man didn't know anybody, but what he knew was who he was. He knew what was inside of him. He believed in himself. He had an authenticity that you can recognize in leaders. And he had a passion for making the world a better place, and he still does. And so all I would say is he's had health problems recently, and people always talk about, well, keep somebody in your thoughts and your prayers. I would suggest if you have time, when he gets back home, if you get a chance, give him a call, just see how he's doing, because that's the best medicine. And I know he'd appreciate it. He lives alone. And now, I just wanted to say one final thing. Andrea, thank you for putting this together tonight, you and the board. I met your dad, and of course, people know your mom very well. Boy, the baton's been passed, and you are really doing such a difficult job in making it look effortless. And we all know how difficult it is, and yet you should know how much we appreciate you. So let's have a big hand for him. Thank you.
I'm Joel Zakares, member of the board. And a good friend of András Ábrahám. It is a distinct honor to introduce Dr. András Ábrahám, a distinguished physician, researcher, and devoted patron of Hungarian culture and education. He was born in Budapest on November 18, 1928. We are of the same age. He's 97, and I'm 79, so it's okay. Dr. Ábrahám earned his degree as MD, summa cum laude, from the University of Szeged, 1953. He began his career at the University of Szeged, Department of Microbiology. It seems that the University of Szeged and the Department of Microbiology not only had a Nobel laureate, but Dr. András Ábrahám. Following the 1956 revolution, October Revolution, where he met Julius Várallyay, he left Hungary and worked as a physician in Austria for 1 year before emigrating to the United States, and he continued his research at the University of Pittsburgh. Over the decades, he held key positions at renowned institutions such as the Peter Bent Brigham Hospital, Temple University in Philadelphia. In 1978, Dr. Ábrahám was appointed Associate Professor of Pathology at the George Washington University School of Medicine and Health Sciences. If I'm allowed a little anecdote, I always asked Dr. Ábrahám András whether I had a friend who had some kind of a health problem, what are his prospects? And he told me, tell me his symptoms. So I said what it is. And he always made absolutely the right diagnostic, and I was able to serve from comfort to my friends with his advice. His lifelong commitment to research and education, especially in renal pathology and clinical microbiology, earned him the title of Associate Professor Emeritus in 1996. Although András made his professional home in the United States, his dedication to Hungary and culture never wavered. He was well known for hosting traditional Hungarian kolbász-making gatherings and fostering cultural exchange through weekly coffee house meetings with fellow Hungarian Americans. For a long time, we met every Thursday on the corner of 19th and Q Street. Every Thursday afternoon from 5 to 9, it was a Hungarian gathering place, and people came from all over the world. His family warmly opened their home to Hungarian students, mentoring many aspiring physicians and scientists. I'm sure that Audrey, who is going to be accepting the award on behalf of András, who is in Budapest and couldn't make it, can tell a few stories about that, because there were many. Dr. Ábrahám's generosity extends to his steadfast support of the Reformed College in Kolozsvár, a vital institution for Hungarian education in Transylvania. Thanks to his support, over 200 students have been able to complete their education, many of whom might never have had such opportunity without his help. I receive his correspondence at his home in Chevy Chase, and if I would have collect all of the letters of thanks from these students, I would have at least 3 volumes like that. For several years, Dr. Ábrahám has supported the John N. Lauer Leadership Training Program, which in a very unique and priceless way. Over more than 10 years, he has allowed the full use of his 4-bedroom house in Chevy Chase, giving dozens of young Hungarians a classy place to live and work in the DC area while they do their internship in DC. In this too, Dr. Ábrahám continues to provide actually valuable service that nurtures the next generations. If I may add a little anecdote, he never forgot his friends. And one day he asked me to look up a book that a friend of his, probably some university professor in Romania, looked up for a book. It was a very rare book. I managed to get it. And then when I asked him to give me the address, he showed me the email that he was based on his request. And I realized that the email was dated 25 years ago. But he never forgot this guy. Please join me in honoring Dr. András Ábrahám for his lifetime of professional excellence, cultural commitment, and generous spirit. The following video is a very short compilation of a few sentences about his life and his commitment to continue supporting the Hungarian American Coalition. Thank you.
...1928. november 8-án születtem Budapesten az egyetemi klinikákon. Egyetemre Szegedre jártam, jelentkeztem a biokémikusnak, és kaptam Szednyőgyűnek az irodáját, mint a labort, de aztán rájöttem, hogy nem nekem való ez, és átmentem mikrobiológiára, főképpen virológiára, ami egyáltalán nem volt lefedve. És hát nagyon egyszerű volt az életem, az egyetemi lágetnek, aztán kineveztek orvosnak.
És akkor mikor érkeztél Amerikába?
Pontosan 1 évvel azóta, Ausztriában megérkezésem napján. New Yorkba érkeztünk, egy galambos nevezetű matematikussal. Pittsburghbe úgy kerültem, hogy írtam a National Foundation for Infantile Paralysisnek, meg néhány embernek, hogy itt vagyok, ki vagyok, és hát van-e szabad állásuk, vagy mi. Hát elfogadott. Hát becsületből én ott maradtam még 3 évet, de aztán rájöttem, hogy a magyar papírok eddig futottak, és elhatározom, hogy elmegyek, és megcsinálok már rezidenciát. És hol? Hát a Harvardon. Kaptam egy helyiséget, ott megcsináltam egy vírus labort, mert akkor ott kezdték a transzplant programokat, vesetranszplant programokat, és hát monitoring lehet mindenféle infekciót. Hát így 2 dolgot csináltam egyszerre.
A református kollégiumot, Kolozsvárot, ott több száz diákot támogattál. Erről mondjál valamit.
Hát amikor először át lehetett menni külföldre, ugye a második hely Románia volt nyilvánvalóan, mert apám nagybányai volt, ugye, és Kolozsváron is voltam, és ismertem, hogy mi a helyzet, és ezért volt prioritás. És ami fölösleg volt, szívesen, nagyon szívesen adtam mindig. Dear guest, I really regret not being able here because of my danger of my profession. I contacted a coronavirus, the third one, and I couldn't make the trip. I therefore, in words, wish the best to everyone, és kívánom minden jót a szövetség további működéséhez, mit szándékomban van a körülményekhez képes támogatni, ameddig az életem tart.
Audrey, we would love to have you come up and accept the award on behalf of your father and say a few words. Thank you so much. Oh, this is it. Yes, third time's a charm. So thank you so much. Zolfi, are you here? Okay. Yes.
Jó estét kívánok, hölgyeim és uraim! Köszönöm a meghívást, hogy ma este itt lehetek, és átvehetem a díjat apám nevében. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm extremely honored to be here to receive this award on my father's behalf. He would have loved to have been here. This is exactly the kind of gathering that he loved to attend. Although he would probably do his really bad habit, which is to speak Hungarian to the English speakers and English to the Hungarian speakers. He didn't realize there was a difference. When I was a little girl, I loved the fact that my father invited so many nice people to come and play with me. And I loved the kolbász making parties. My favorite part was that they let the little kids do the mixing with our feet. Not my mother's favorite part. My least favorite part was the eating kolbász month after one of these parties. But I realized when I was older that he offered hospitality to these people to make personal connections, to make professional connections. He was mentoring a lot of these people. And sometimes it was just because they needed a place to stay when they came to the United States from Hungary for the first time. A friend of a friend is always my father's friend. And he's Zsolt Székeres's friend, so I think he has probably a lot of friends. But when he came to the United States after 1956 and after Austria, which is where he got his love of opera, and I can say this because I have sat through Wagner's Ring Cycle with him twice. But he was able to succeed in the United States because he was educated. He was able to rebuild his medical career from scratch. But he also was able to forge connections, new connections in this new community. But of course also with the Hungarians who were living here. Show my father any institution and he will find the Hungarian who works there. But also he wanted to provide these connections. He wanted to provide the opportunity for these connections and also provide an opportunity for educations for other Hungarians. So the work of the coalition, particularly in the area of education, is so dear to his heart. In the video, he did say that he will continue to support the coalition for the rest of his life. And my siblings and I are looking for ways that we can continue that support. But in the meantime, thank you for this award. Thank you from the bottom of my father's big heart.
Hi, I'm Agnes Vörga, long-term member of the coalition, and this is a very personal honor and a special occasion to me to introduce and give the award and present the Minnesota Hungarians. The personal connection is that I married an American from Minnesota. My husband is here from Minneapolis, and I went there many times. I had no idea there were Hungarians there in Minneapolis. How would you know? And then I thought of everybody else. We went to German festival, everything, and the last thing you think of Hungarians. And then I met Csilla 15 years ago with Andrea in a diaspora conference in Hungary. And then she tells me about Minnesota Hungarians. And I said, Minnesota Hungarians, oh my God. And then it gave me this this feeling that I have to join this organization, Diaspora Coalition. How would I know these people from Minnesota, Denver, and all this? So this is wonderful. So I'm really honored to talk about the Minnesota Hungarians. So Minnesota Hungarians in a prestigious organization with a rich history spanning over 133 years. Would you think of 133 years? The organization had been actively focused on the cultural, educational, philanthropic activities that promote Hungarian culture and heritage in Minnesota and across the US. I'm from Boston, and I tell you, our organization learned a lot from yours. How do you arrange things, the festivals and culture and funding? So a lot to learn from them. And we can talk about Minnesota Hungarians without mentioning the visionary leadership of Ágnes and László Fülöp, who not only guided the group of many years, but also helped create the Hungarian collection at the University of Minnesota, one of the most significant archives of Hungarian American history in the United States. If you go there to Minneapolis, it's worth to visit because this is very unique in the whole US. Their legacy continues through initiatives like the We Care project, launched with the Creative Cultural Exchange under Csilla Grauzer's leadership, delivering over 1.5 million in medical aid to communities in Transylvania, Ukraine, and Hungary. And I remember the picture sending Ukraine all this, incredible supplies during the war, amazing. So, and earning the prestigious Highlights of Hungary Award in 2018. Most recently, under President Gabriella Sinka Heath, Minnesota Hungarians led the fundraising for the stunning Transylvanian Gate, unveiled his fall in St. Paul, a powerful symbol of unity and friendship. So we have to visit that, Ray. It is hard to put into words the gratitude we feel for the continued work of the Minnesota Hungarians, seeking to improve the lives and opportunities of Hungarians in the Carpathian Basin and the world at large. So to do so in the best way we can, we would like to honor them as the honorary organization of this event. And they are wonderful. And I would like to invite to the podium Gabriella Sinka Heath, current president, and Csilla Grauzer, We Care founder, former president of the Minnesota Hungarians, and VP of the coalition. And let me just mention as a last word, besides their achievement and incredible work, they embodied the personality. You heard about the Minnesota Nice, so they are the ones. Thank you.
Jó estét kívánok! Good evening, everyone. Ambassador Takács, dear friends, distinguished guests, and members of the community. I am deeply honored and truly humbled to stand here before you tonight, to speak on behalf of a community which is being honored and recognized at this momentous occasion is both a privilege and a reminder of how much we can achieve when we work together with shared passion and purpose. I've had the joy of serving as president of Minnesota Hungarians for 17 years and the honorary consul of Hungary for the past 11 years. These roles have been deeply intertwined with my passion for building bridges between Hungary and Minnesota, between generations and between cultures. They have shown me the importance of service, connection, and partnership. Our collaboration with the Hungarian American Coalition has been one of those remarkable partnerships, based on mutual respect, shared goals, and the belief that together we can preserve our heritage while inspiring future generations. Through cultural, educational, and humanitarian projects, we have worked hand in hand to make a lasting difference in both our local and global communities. At this time, I would like to express my gratitude and pay tribute to the two great Hungarian Americans, László and Ágnes Fülöp, who as leaders of the organization took the initiative to have it become a member of Hungarian American Coalition from the very beginning. Their dedication to Hungarian causes is truly remarkable. As executive director of the Creative Cultural Exchange, I have seen how presenting cultural traditions, arts, crafts, and stories of ordinary people break boundaries. I have celebrated the richness of Hungarian culture while introducing it to others. and I have experienced the fulfillment of providing humanitarian service. Our award-winning We Care project, as mentioned before, medical donation project, has collected and shipped nearly $2 million worth of medical supplies to the needy in Hungary, Romania, and in collaboration with the Hungarian American Coalition to Lviv, Ukraine, a couple of years ago. We have benefited enormously from our decades-long partnership with Unity Church Unitarian in St. Paul, which has a sister church in Transylvania, my homeland. We are grateful to them for co-sponsoring many of our events and offering their facilities to us. Our multi-year cooperation with the Immigration History Research Center of the University of Minnesota to publicize the contributions of Hungarians to Minnesota and US has been highly informative and popular. In partnership with the Minneapolis-St. Paul Film Society, we have organized a series of film festivals featuring movies made in Hungary. Our association with the cultural organization Global Minnesota in presenting traditional Hungarian and Transylvanian dishes as part of their program of Culture Through Cuisine, dinner and lecture events, has received rave reviews. One of my greatest joys of my work has been mentoring 10 young KCP students over the years. Their curiosity, creativity, and passion for Hungarian causes give me hope for the future. They remind me that the most meaningful legacy we can leave is to empower others, to help them find their voice and place in the world. Lastly, I'm delighted to welcome our new president, Gabriella Sinka Heath, whose leadership and vision we look forward to as we continue building a stronger, more connected community. Thank you for this honor and your friendship always.
Thank you, Csilla. Good evening, everyone. Ambassador Takács, dear guests, coalition members. It is truly an honor to be here tonight and to represent the Minnesota Hungarians at this wonderful event. I'm extremely happy and proud to stand among so many friends, leaders, and dedicated members of the Hungarian American Coalition. I became president of our 133-year-old organization just a year and a half ago. While I cannot take credit for the tremendous work and history built by those who came before me, I must admit it is a very large shoe to fill. I have been part of the Minnesota Hungarians for over 20 years, serving as a volunteer, and for 8 years of those years as a treasurer before stepping into my current role. Over these 2 decades, I have had privilege of meeting and working with remarkable people, among them Agnes and László Fülöp, and of course, our former president, Csilla Grauzernek. Those leadership continues to inspire me. I'm deeply committed to continuing our strong partnership with the Hungarian American Coalition and its wonderful president, Andrea Lauer-Rice, and her dedicated team. Let me share a few words about some of the recent efforts us Minnesota Hungarians worked on. One of our proudest achievements this year is the Székely Kapu project, a beautiful cultural bridge that connects with us, with our roots in Transylvania. The Minnesota Hungarians raised funds to transport the more than 200 kilogram, 400 pounds, handcrafted wooden gate from Homorod-Szentpéter, Erdély, and I had the privilege of assisting our partner churches with logistics and project coordinations over the past year and a half. Since its dedication on September 6th, only just a month ago, The Székely Kapu stands not only as a symbol of heritage, but also of friendship and partnership with the Unity Church Unitarian of St. Paul, Minnesota, home of many of our community events, as Csilla mentioned, and also home of Misi Hungarian Weekend School, as well as our sister church, Homorod-Szentpéter, Székelyföld. At the dedication ceremony, our Consul General of Chicago, Dr. Mártonfi Balázs, and Honorary Consul Csilla Grauzernek, and I spoke about this gate importance, and this reminds us to our shared heritage knows no borders. Other important initiative this year was our fundraiser to support the people of Parajd, also in Transylvania, following the salt mine disaster earlier this spring. Our Honorary Consul, Csilla Grauzernek, personally delivered the few $1,000s collected during a very short time, a fundraiser event from local and from US, also from Andrea, as donations just only a few weeks ago. Let me mention that we also had a community event reconnecting with the city of Algona, Iowa. As you know, Algona does not have a Hungarian honorary consulate, no official Hungarian organization. However, Iowa's largest county is named after Lajos Kossuth. And this past April, our Minnesota delegation visited the city and Kossuth Museum. We placed a nice wreath at the Kossuth statue, what was raised about 20 years ago with a joint effort of local people, the Minnesota Hungarians, and also by the Embassy of Hungary in Washington. I don't know if we're gonna see the video. There may be 1 or 2 shots from that event. I also would like to highlight a pillar of our community, the Misi Hungarian Weekend School. Misi plays a vital role in passing on our language, history, and traditions to the next generation. Along with our small but creative and deeply dedicated team of volunteers, I strive to represent our 133-year-old community with its timeless values. Thank you everyone who helped carry this legacy forward here at the Hungarian American Koalíció Gala, and it's a true privilege to walk this part together with you. Köszönöm a figyelmet, and thank you for recognizing the Minnesota Hungarians at tonight's celebration gala. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. I also would like to ask Mike LeFleur and Mike Kowalska from our board to come up and celebrate with us.
All right. So look at Kevin here.
Okay.
And there you go. Come in the front. Okay. Oh, two hands. It's a heavy. Oh, hello. great. Lots of fun memories in those pictures. Before we end this evening with a series of toasts, I wanted to make sure everyone knew that Governor George E. Pataki is in the house. He has made it. How's that for perseverance? No government shutdown or train delay is going to keep our America's governor from the Hungarian American Coalition Gala dinner. Welcome. Thank you for being here. And I'd like to welcome Ambassador Szabolcs Takács for our first toast of the evening. Thank you so much, Szabolcs, for being here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Hungary-Italy European Soccer Championship qualifier ended in a 1-1 draw. At the... Zsuzsi, I think it's the wrong speech. No, I was joking. In fact, this is the speech I want to make. So once again, the Hungary-Italy European Soccer Championship qualifier ended in a 1-1 draw at the Népstadion. It was a piece of news that a news broadcaster said and opened the late evening chronicle, késő esti kronika, Kossuth Rádió, 35 years ago, on the evening of October 17, 1990 at 10 p.m. Budapest time. He continued as follows. The Hungarian Prime Minister has been in the capital of the United States for more than 7 hours. Prime Minister Antal József, speaking at the Kossuth House in Washington, met with leaders of Hungarian American organizations asking for the support of the Hungarian American community in Hungary's transformation. So this was 35 years ago, and I recalled all this because I really wanted to remind you of the 35 years of the Hungarian American Coalition. It's always, of course, a very generous and kind duty to speak in front of American Hungarians and Americans who claim to be friends of Hungary. And I would like to greet all of you, and thank you very much for honoring this community and this gala with your presence. And I think each and every year when I, as an ambassador, invited, and my predecessors and my successors will be invited to the gala dinner, it's always a good opportunity to look back, take a stock, what happened during the last year and during the last 35 years, during the last 133 years and the last 250 years. And next year it will be a great opportunity for you Americans to celebrate yourself. 250 years, just a baby. And we Hungarians with an 1100 years of history would like to celebrate with you and really be part of the celebrations, but we are not going to celebrate ourselves Hungarians, but how Hungarians for the last 250 years contributed to what you call America today. And I think today we saw 3 very good examples of Hungarians who contributed to this big story. And their stories are huge stories. The story of Várallyay Gyula and Ábrahám András. I'm so glad that his daughter could come. Very happy to meet you. And of course, communities like the Minnesota Hungarians for the last 133 years, what you have done is remarkable. And on behalf of the government that I represent, I would like to just offer our best services and contribution to you next year and all through the year to help you to make this commemoration and reminders of how Hungarians, what they have done. And we know big stories like the Martians and the New York Hungarian Jews who established Hollywood, and Haraszti, who, thanks to him, you can drink wine today. But many others. And of course, Andrea started this celebration with just honoring another Hungarian. I'm very happy. And it's a great day for us. We again won a Nobel Prize. The Hungarian Nobel laureate in literature is a Hungarian. It's remarkable. And 2 years ago, when we had 2 Hungarians out of the 5, Anikó, of course, and Krausz Ferenc, they won 2 Nobel laureates in 1 week. I remember it, some colleagues of mine, European ambassadors, called me to congratulate, and they said, congratulations that you have 2 Nobel laureates. And I said, yeah, and it's only Tuesday. So we never know. I mean, we can be proud, I think, and the Prime Minister is very proud, and I'm very proud of the Hungarians who are doing such a remarkable contribution to the world. And but talking about the coalition, I think 35 years ago when Antal József was here, and he met leaders of the administration and leaders of the World Bank and IMF and director of the CIA. He asked for help, financial support to Hungary, who just got rid of communism after 45 years. Now many things have changed since then. Certainly we are not seeking financial help from the IMF and the World Bank, and we are not going to Langley because we are summoned, but we are going there as a friend, and things have changed a lot since last year when we met. Now we have a new government in America, a new administration. I can tell you that this is great news for us, because previously for 4 years it was really a terrible face of America that was shown to the Hungarians, and we wanted to make sure to the Hungarians that no, this is not America, don't believe them. There are great people in America. And I think you all, the coalition and everybody, each and every individual in this room contribute to this endeavor to create a much nicer picture of America. And we certainly did not need a patronizing America, but we needed a friend. And now I think there's big friendship, and I can say that it has never happened in history, in your history, that an American Prime Minister and an American President and the Hungarian Prime Minister enjoy such a deep and genuine friendship that and for the last 1 year we could really turn back the clock and turn everything upside down. Great achievements thanks to our friends in America. One example is that Hungarians can travel freely again. And I kept telling the Americans that you cannot do that to the Hungarians who have been cut off from the world because of communism and isolation, and then you wanted them to cut from America. Now everybody is back from the first day of this month. All Hungarians, regardless of where they are born, in Transylvania or in wherever, they can travel freely without any disturbance. And I think this is a great, probably for you, for your families, for your friends. That's a great achievement, and more to come. I can tell you that more to come, and we are really building a Hungary that is built on the 1100 years of history. We were talking with Andrea today about this 250 years, and over dinner we were talking about terrible things as well, what happened in this country recently, and of course the Charlie Kirk issue. And what we can just tell, and this is what we tell the Hungarians, that life is easy. Believe in God, get married and have children. And that's all what you can do. And we as a government, this is what we are going to support. And we need the friends in America. And we are building a Hungary that is proud, that is having a good posture, and that is respectful to the world, especially to such a huge and important and great country like the United States of America. So I look forward to the upcoming period. I raise my imaginary glass to the awardees today. They're great stories, and all the best, of course, to Várallyay Gyuszi. And I'm quite sure that he will be back next year. He will be wearing his tuxedo. And then he will be celebrating with us. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all the awardees, and congratulations to the coalition. Be well, stay well, and see you next year. Thank you very much.
You just pointed at me. To someone who needs no introduction. the one and only Susan Hutchison.
Thank you, Andrea. She always pulls me up here at the very end to do a toast, and it's always my honor. I always feel at home among Hungarians, even though I only qualify as a friend of Hungary, or maybe an honorary Hungarian. Thank you. I look at this room and I think about all of the Hungarian American Coalition events I've attended, and I always come away deeply touched. Thank you, Ambassador. I loved your words. I've just returned from a trip that started in Nuremberg and went through Auschwitz and Warsaw and Berlin. I've been to Budapest and know the history well, having been there 16 times. And I am so struck by the bravery and the courage and the resilience of the Hungarian people. And so I'm so proud to be here among you. But I think tonight is a night, and it began right from the start, where we're looking forward and into the future. And just by talking about the amazing group of young people who are in this room, starting with interns, and then the organizations that the Hungarian American Coalition has embraced and started, including the Hype. I just want to be a Hype member, a hyper. So I look at you, Andrea, and I just think, you are your mother's daughter. And the value of the generations passing down to one another is what really will make the future of the Hungarian American Coalition, the future of America, the future of Hungary. So I want to toast, Andrea, to you, and also to all the young people in this room. You are our future, you are our hope, and you are our success. And I toast to all of you, knowing that we'll be together again someday soon, and we are moving into the future together. Cheers.
Testing. Does that work? Okay, thank you so much, Susan. Does everyone have their champagne glasses? Okay, for our final toast of the evening, the one and only Governor Pataki.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Andrea. You know, Andrea was complaining about technical difficulties before. I had a 5-hour and 48-minute train ride from New York to Washington. I could have flown to Ireland quicker and had time to spare, and I have to tell you, halfway there, I'm thinking, what am I doing? Why don't I just turn around and go back? And then I realized it was for the Hungarian American Coalition. And I have to tell you, in all seriousness, this organization has meant a great deal to me. I didn't know it existed. Even though I was a rabid Hungarian in my hometown and in New York, it wasn't until well after I had been elected to the governorship when I realized there was this organization. And what an amazing organization. You know, it brings different Hungarian communities together, that honors people who contribute so much to the Hungarian diaspora here in New York and America, and does so much more. And then I took a look at the program, and I thought maybe I really should turn back, because I saw you were honoring the Minnesota Hungarians. And I have to tell you, I didn't know there were Hungarians in Minnesota until I met one of your leaders. This was after September 11th, and all the governors from all over the country were coming in. And Minnesota had elected a nut job, a former professional wrestler. He made Hulk Hogan look skinny. He had his head shaved and an earring, and he was convinced that Martians were invading Minnesota and Albanians were invading America. And I go, well, he's the governor. I got to meet him. So we go down to ground zero. He goes up, Pataki. Nice to meet you. I want to let you know I'm Hungarian too. So that was my introduction to Minnesota Hungarians. It was Jesse Ventura, and he goes, Pataki, that's my stage name. My real name is János. So literally true. So my suggestion is, if now that you know he's Hungarian, don't invite them to any of your other events. But anyway, I did want to come here because how great this organization is, and in particular, the people who have made this happen. Andrea, you're carrying on the legacy. Your mother Edith, is spectacular. Zsolt, none of this happens without you and without your right-hand man who's not here tonight, Max Teleki. What an incredible duo you are, and what an incredible asset to this organization and to the Hungarian-American community. So I wanted to recognize you, honor you, be here to tell you how proud I am of this organization and to be a part of it, and to just urge you, as Susan said, it's not about those of us here. It's about the next generation. So we have an obligation to do what we can to make this organization vibrant for the next generation to come. Let me just thank you all. Ambassador Tukac, thank you. Ambassador Foley, nice of you to be here. And let's just realize, this isn't the end, this is the beginning. Let's continue to work to make this organization and the Hungarian-American community stronger. Köszönöm szépen.
So I'll give it a try. Thank you, Governor Pataki. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this evening's program. Thank you all for your support of the Hungarian American Coalition and our scholarship and internship programs. We'd like to thank especially the Charles and Lisa Simonyi Fund for the Arts for their support, and our wonderful gala co-chairs, Governor Pataki, who made it at the bitter end there, the Honorable Anikó Gaál Schott and Nash Schott, who did such a wonderful job honoring Jussi Bácsi. My mother, Mrs. Edith Kish Lauer, who will be here tomorrow, but will sadly miss the festivities, and to so many others who contributed. Congratulations and best wishes on a speedy recovery to Julius, to Jussi Várallyay, and to András Ábrahám. I understand he's already on the mend. And a big congrats to the Minnesota Hungarians, Jesse Ventura, with the exception of Jesse Ventura, Anna Smith-Lacey, and Reka Veres Lennox for your awards. I'd like to add my heartfelt thanks to our hack dream team. That's what I call them every day. Luca Moroz, Reka Veres Lennox, our interns Agoston and Christoph, and of course the indefatigable Zsolt Szekeres and János Szekeres, and to our hypers, David Klinger, Dora Szegedi, Erzsébet Ábrahám, for their hard work in making this evening such a success. We hope you enjoyed the chance to learn a bit more about our work and to catch up with dear friends and colleagues until December 5th for the Mikuláš dinner, and then, more importantly, April 27th, 2026 for the America 250, Celebrating America, Hungarian style. Mindenkinek köszönjük a részvételet, és szép jó éjszakát kívánok. Thank you once again, and good night, and cheers.